Honorable Ministers of the Council, members of the media, online viewers and radio listeners tuned in via Facebook Live, St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM, and respective radio stations island-wide. I'm Cedric Peterson on behalf of the Council of Ministers. Welcome to the Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, July 24th, 2019. At this time, I invite the Prime Minister and Minister of General Affairs, the Honorable Leona Romeo Marlin, to address you.
Good morning and pleasant day to the public of St. Martin, all visitors, radio listeners, my colleagues, members of the press. Today I would like to inform the public about 5 important updates from the Ministry of General Affairs. They are as follows: the enhancement of the Hurricane Readiness Guide on the government of St. Martin, the Customer Satisfaction Survey from the Public Service Center, updates on the private roof repair program by the National Recovery Program Bureau, update on the boundary issue regarding Oyster Pond, and public service announcement for the community on passports renewal and expiring dates, along with works to be released soon. The Department of Communications, so DCOM, has enhanced the Hurricane Readiness Guide on the government's website. The Hurricane Readiness Guide tab can be found at www.stmartingov.org/hurricane. It has information that the community can make use of when preparing for the hurricane season and critical information during and after a storm. The Hurricane Readiness Guide tab is a great communication resource that will assist persons in the community in becoming aware of the importance of hurricane preparedness and also being more involved and conscious of a hurricane and its possible effects. I commend DCOM for putting together this special website page with multiple tabs of relevant information on hurricane preparedness as part of its larger communication campaign for hurricane season 2019. The department is also providing information via its multimedia channels via the government website, the daily newspaper, the disaster prep app, the distribution of a hurricane tracking chart, and St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM, keeping our community properly informed as the main objective is the main objective for these actions. The Hurricane Readiness Guide has 8 tabs with relevant information, and they are as follows: being prepared, so be prepared, list of shelters for 2019, storm preparations, staying safe, post-storm safety, the checklists, hurricane items maximum price list of goods, and the list of emergency numbers. The public is urged to go to the website at www.stmartingov.org/hurricane and explore its contents fully. It is important to be proactive in knowing what one has to do before and after a disaster strikes. The public can also download the Disaster Prep St. Martin app on the same Hurricane Readiness Guide page on the government website. The newly launched app is currently only for Android users. It has information on disaster and risk management, emergency numbers, ESF groups, and regular updates. Whether it is a hurricane or a fire, this app for residents and guests of St. Martin contains information about how to prepare and what to do during a disaster. Persons can also download a hurricane charting map that can be used to track the route of a hurricane. It also has information about the government disaster management organizational structure. The hurricane tracking chart will be free of charge, and it will be available in the Government Administration Building at the reception desk, the Labor Affairs Service Desk, and the Public Service Center Information Desk. DCOM is also working on public service announcement on several hurricane preparedness tips in 3 different languages: English, Spanish, and French, respectively. The hurricane preparedness tips are about being prepared before a storm or a hurricane, staying safe at various stages as a hurricane approaches, specific advice about what to do to stay safe, being aware of the threats, and outlining the items of a hurricane supply kit and other safety tips. While some English public service announcements have been playing since June, others will begin shortly in the next 1 to 2 weeks. In addition to the public service announcement, the department has also completed a new hurricane special that will be posted today, July 24th, 2019, at noon on their Facebook page /StMartinGov, YouTube /StMartinGov, and website www.stmartingov.org. This special will be also broadcasted this Friday, July 26, on cable TV, channel 115, so 115 at 7 p.m. For official government information, the public is urged to stay informed by tuning in to SXM Gov Radio 107.9 FM and or by logging on to the official social media sites before and after a hurricane. The Public Service Center Department is conducting a customer service satisfaction survey at its Phillipsburg and Simpson Bay locations. The purpose of this survey is to obtain constructive feedback from customers as it relates to the various services being offered at the branches and access to government services in general. The outcome of the survey will be used to address key areas for improvement. The survey commenced on July 9th and will run until August 31st, 2019. The department invites customers to participate in the survey at the locations mentioned, which is being conducted through the assistance of students working under the Business Outreach and Placement Program, so BOP. Customers may also opt to participate in the survey through the link provided for such on the Public Service Center Department Facebook. The update from the NRPB. The private home repair program is ongoing. Repairs to the homes are being completed in phases. The director of the National Recovery Program Bureau, Mr. Claret Connor, is scheduled to visit some of the repair sites on July 24th today to get a first-hand account of the progression of these works. Repair work to a second batch of 27 homes will start next week, and the plan is to continue to work in batches until all of the assessed and approved homes have been completed. Repairs to 109 of the social homes in the Belvedere community are wrapping up on the final units. A second phase will tackle the 5 residential towers in the neighborhood. Work on the 13 hurricane shelters is scheduled to commence. Short works will be scheduled based on a rotation basis to ensure that shelters will remain accessible during the hurricane season. This will include roof repairs, repairs to doors and windows, installation of hurricane shutters, electrical installations, including generators, and sanitation upgrades. Phase 2 repairs to the police station in Phillipsburg and in Simpson Bay are progressing. At the end of August, the next round of classes under the Income Support and Training Project will begin. I would like to take this opportunity to once again encourage all unemployed and underemployed residents that have already been active in the labor market to visit the labor office here at the administration building to learn more on how they can participate in the skill enhancing project. Tomorrow, July 25th, the Council of Ministers will receive an update on the progression of the activities in the debris removal project, including the suppression of the underground fires in the area of landfills. Several planned actions have already been taken in the past weeks. These include the hosting of 2 public consultation sessions in which efforts were made to especially engage with the residents in the surrounding areas, both Spanish and English speaking. An environmental and social impact assessment on this project will be completed soon, and government will be fully apprised of how this debris removal project will be handled. Update on Oyster Pond. On April 18th and 19th, 2019, an informal technical meeting on boundary issues were held in Paris. Representatives from the Republic of France and the Kingdom of the Netherlands attended these meetings. St. Martin formed part of the Kingdom delegation. St. Martin hopes to continue these technical meetings on boundary issues in the month of October 2019. These meetings will not only cover the boundary of Oyster Pond, but of all borders on St. Martin. If we continue as scheduled, formal border negotiations could start at the end of the year. St. Martin maintains that the restaurant and marina of Captain Oliver's are on Dutch territory. The restaurant and marina have been operating under Dutch licenses for over 40 years. St. Martin regrets the fact that the discussions on the border demarcation in Oyster Pond has affected the operations of the restaurant and marina and does its utmost best to resolve this situation. Because the border is under dispute pending negotiations between the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the Republic of France, the government of St. Martin is limited in its actions. And finally, from the Civil Registry, the Department of the Civil Registry is urging all residents to check the expiration date of their passports and to renew them in a timely manner. According to the head of the Civil Registry Department, persons often purchase tickets or have travel emergency without realizing that their passports have been expired. In order to avoid this, the community is asked to review their Dutch passports and check the expiration date, as well as the expiration date of that of their children. Based on the need for this important point for the community, the Department of Civil Registry and the Department of Communication have constructed a public service announcement, so PSA, in order to help the public by reminding everyone to please check the expiration dates. In case of travel, whether emergency or leisure, it is essential that every citizen check their official documents and ensure that they are updated. If you are a Dutch national and registered by the Department of Civil Registry, the following requirements are applicable. Please make an appointment. So firstly, make an appointment with the Department of Civil Registry, either by the Public Service Center desk or online via stmartingov.org/civil registry, or you may also call the office at 542-0652. After setting the appointment, please remember to be on time for the date of the appointment, and include the documents, the following documents. So the applicant must be present, the Dutch passport, including all travel documents issued to the applicant, must also be in the possession of the individual, a recent passport picture, no older than 6 months. The fee for an adult is 210 guilders. They can pay via cash or maestro. The fee for a minor is 150 guilders. They can pay through cash or maestro. If the passport is lost or reported lost, they will have to check. If passport is lost, a report will be made by the clerk. Processing time is about 4 weeks and can be extended if necessary. And when applying for all minors, the consent of parents or guardian is mandatory. In some instances, additional information may be requested from applicants in order to proceed with the application. However, this service may only be provided at the Philipsburg location. The government of St. Martin would like to remind all citizens that your identity is your responsibility. Those were the updates for the Ministry of General Affairs, and I have a few updates as the current Acting Minister of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor. On behalf of this ministry, I would like to inform the public on a system for vector surveillance and control at the points of entry. Since the month of April 2019, the Collection Prevention Services implemented a system for vector surveillance and controls at the points of entry, which includes the Princess Juliana International Airport and the AC Wati Cruise and Cargo Facility. The goal of this project is to gain sufficient knowledge of the mosquito population at the ports in order to understand the risk of importing possible exotic mosquito species into the island of St. Martin. One of the legal provisions under the International Health Regulation is to ensure that facilities used by travelers at point of entry are maintained in a sanitary condition and are kept free of source of infection and contamination by the competent authorities. The Collective Prevention Services Volunteer Corps officers, so VCO, are in the process of conducting routine maintenance of the traps and the necessary inspections at all sites where mosquito traps were stationed. Based on the findings of the Arbovirus Mosquito Monitoring Program, Collective Preventative Services, so CPS, will be informing and advising management of operations of the facilities through a notification letter to inspect and monitor the immediate surroundings of their facility for any mosquito breeding sites and stagnant standing water. Excuse me. In addition to the port of entries, I would like to remind all citizens and private sector representatives to take all necessary preventative measures against mosquito breeding. This is important to protect not only yourselves and all visitors, but most importantly, all infants and children. Please remove all long-standing water bins in areas that may accumulate water easily after rainfall or any water-related activity. For more instructions on these preventative measures, tips on how to alleviate the spread of mosquito and potential health threats to our community, please visit the Ministry of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor Facebook page on the website of the Government of St. Martin. For any additional information, they may also contact the CPS at 542-1570. Before I close, I would like to once more extend our sincere condolences to the family and friends of Ms. Cassandra Gibbs on behalf of the Council of Ministers and the entire government of St. Martin. I wish everyone a blessed day, and I look forward for the questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister, for your opening remarks. At this time, I'd like to invite the Minister of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport, the Honorable Wycliffe Smith, to address you.
Thank you very much. Greetings to all gathered here this morning. Honorable Prime Minister, colleague ministers, the Department of Communications, members of the press, as well as those who are listening or watching via radio, television, or social media. Good morning, Sualiga. In my last press briefing, I spoke of our ministry's preparation to present the 2019 budget. That budget has since been approved, and the ministry is now working on the 2020 budget. As I shared in Parliament concerning the 2019 budget, that was a skeleton budget that allows the maintenance of the basic operations within this ministry. For our country to realize transformational change in our education system, to be able to promote our local culture and heritage, and advance youth affairs, and effect a significant improvement in sports, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport will be requesting that more funds be invested in these critical areas for the development of our country's future. The steering committee of the World Bank, in a recent meeting that was held in The Hague, agreed to allocate $35 million towards the Education Master Plan that I had submitted several months ago. The Education Master Plan is an inventory of all school buildings, sport facilities, and cultural facilities such as the library, the museum, and the CMARC. And these buildings were all damaged, and some were even destroyed by Hurricane Irma. To repair and build back these facilities, it was estimated to do so at an approximate cost of $74 million. And so we're pleased that the steering committee has allocated $35 million. Included in the $35 million is an allocation of approximately $6 million for a psychosocial project that will be executed with the assistance of the UNICEF. The steering committee made specific mention of the rebuilding of the Phillipsburg Jubilee Library, which could also be used to house the National Heritage Center, the St. Martin Archaeological Center also, and the National Heritage Center also includes the museum. Technical teams from the World Bank and also from our own National Recovery Program Bureau, the NRPB, will be soon available to advise and assist with the planning, the designing, the procurement, and the execution of the projects that fall under this $35 million allocation. A note concerning reports and diplomas that are to be provided. In recent weeks, the Division of Inspection has reminded all school boards of their responsibility to provide students with their diplomas upon completion of their examinations at both the primary and the secondary levels. Diplomas cannot be legally withheld from the graduating student for any reason. Primary school students are entitled to their progress reports, and these should not be withheld for any reason. The ministry is aware of the practice by some school boards to withhold report cards in cases of non-payment of parental contribution. However, this is absolutely not allowed at the primary level and is certainly discouraged at all levels. The second Caribbean Wellbeing Conference will be held on August 5th and 6th, 2019 at the Bel Air Community Center. The theme for the conference is Fostering Resilience, Creating a Culture of Well-Being in Schools. The focus for the Caribbean Wellbeing Conference 2019 will be on teacher well-being, student well-being, and family well-being. The Caribbean Wellbeing Conference will bring together stakeholders who are promoting student wellness, and they're coming from St. Martin, the Caribbean, and from the wider region. Persons who are interested in attending this conference are invited to visit the Caribbean Wellbeing Conference Facebook page for more information. Concerning the Koop Avond, the July family entertainment and shopping event, Koop Avond, that is held in Phillipsburg on Thursday nights during the month of July, will have its closing evening tomorrow, July 25th, in the vicinity of the courthouse. There will be local crafts, local food, local music, all in one place. That is great cultural entertainment also. So bring out your family and enjoy this wonderful evening. Registration is now open for our annual Sports and Creative Industries Open House, which will take place on September 6th and 7th, 2019. Stakeholders are invited to participate. Registration is free, as we wish to promote healthy lifestyles and fitness opportunities in St. Martin. Sign up today by calling the National Sports Institute at 542-20239 or visit the office of the Raoul Illich Sports Complex. Registration ends on Friday, August 2nd, 2019, so don't delay. Remember, sports matter. And finally, congratulations to Zidania. St. Martin's flag waved high in the Dominican Republic last week when our 2019 Junior Carnival Queen, Zidania Charles Gums, brought home the crown for Miss Preteen Model International 2019-2020. Additionally, Zidania captured the prizes in 4 categories: Best Swimwear, Best Interview, Best Evening Wear, and Best Teen International. Zidania, we celebrate with you and with your family. You've made your country proud. Thank you very much for watching and for listening, and I'll be available for any questions if you may have. Have a pleasant day.
Thank you very much, Minister Smith, for your opening remarks. Minister of Justice, the Honorable Cornelius De Weaver, and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Perry Hearlings, are currently attending the press briefing, but we will not be making any opening remarks, but will entertain any questions that the media may have. I'd like to open the floor now for the members of the media to pose their questions. Stephen Cerillion, PJD2 Radio, you have the floor.
Prime Ministers, Ministers, good morning. Welcome back. Minister of Education, Koop Avond, will be closing on August 1st and not tomorrow night. Having said that now, several students will be traveling to Europe, North America, and all the Caribbean region to further their studies. Can you give us a breakdown as to how many students overall will be making the journey?
Thank you for your question, Mr. Cyrillian. I don't have those numbers with me, so it wouldn't be right for me to just to give you figures that may not be accurate, because we're getting students that are added to the batch constantly. You know, we had a first batch, then students were had to go through an appeal, and then students are still getting in their admissions letters from colleges abroad. So nearly daily, students are being added to that batch. But I hope by next week, God willing, to be able to give you a figure. The students to the Netherlands will be leaving on the 28th of July.
Thank you very much, Minister, and thank you, Stephen, for your question. Alita Singh, Daily Herald. Good morning. You have the floor.
Question is for the Prime Minister. And you're currently holding two very hefty portfolios, which is the Minister of General Affairs, Prime Minister, along with that of VSR. What is the status to appoint a new minister to the Council of Ministers?
The status is ongoing, so as soon as we receive the documentation, we will follow the procedures accordingly, but it's ongoing.
Thank you, Prime Minister. And thank you very much to the members of the media for your questions. Of course, to the ministers, thank you very much for updating us on matters related to your respective ministries. And to our online viewers and radio listeners, thank you for tuning in and being a part of this live edition of the Council of Ministers press briefing for today, Wednesday, July 24th, 2019. If you've missed our broadcast, we invite you, of course, to log on to the official government website, stmartingov.org, for video on demand, and tune in every evening at 7 p.m. on St. Martin Cable TV, channel 115. On behalf of the Department of Communication, and by extension the Council of Ministers, I'm Cedric Peterson. Thanks for tuning in, and have a pleasant day.